let's see what's happening in League of Legends.
League of Legends.
So, League of Legends. So, this week we had more League of Legends and Academy games. Academy was playing for their placements in Proving Grounds for spring, while LCS was playing for their placement in spring playoffs. So, with that said, Academy is up first. And on day one, it brought us five matches with teams playing 2 maps each. To start, Team Liquid Academy was first up against 100 Thieves Academy, where TL were able to take both maps. In game 2, Immortals Academy took on Evil Geniuses, where Immortals were able to do the same as Team Liquid and took both maps off of EG. TSM Academy squared off against FlyQuest Academy in game 3, where teams split both maps, each taking one. And then match 4 saw Dignitas take on Counter Logic Gaming, where Dignitas was able to step up and take both.
In the final match of the day, Golden Guardians Academy battled Cloud9 Academy, where both teams were able to take one map apiece.
And then in day 2, it presented 5 more matches. And again, all matches had 2 maps. So matches were pretty straightforward, with 4 out of the 5 matches being evenly split, with all teams winning one match. So pretty boring there. The only match that differed was Team Liquid Academy facing off against Immortals Academy. And in that match, TL was able to take both maps off of Immortals. Other than that match, though, games were even.
With those scores cemented, here's how it changed the league standing for spring split. In first, we have Golden Guardians Academy with 20 wins, 10 losses. Second, we have Counter Logic Gaming Academy with 19 wins, 11 losses. Third, we have Cloud9 Academy with 18 wins, 12 losses. Fourth, we have Team Liquid Academy with 17 wins, 13 losses. Number 5, we have Immortals Academy with 15 wins and 15 losses. Sharing 6th place, we have 100 Thieves Academy and Dignitas Academy, both with 14 wins and 16 losses. In 8th, we have Evil Geniuses Academy with 13 wins, 17 losses. 9th, we have FlyQuest Academy with 11 wins, 19 losses. Number 10, we have TSM Academy with 9 wins and a whopping 21 losses.
And with those type of standings across the league, it definitely shows in the individual leaders as well. Therefore, here's what we have for you after this week for league leaders. In first, it's Stixay of Golden Guardians Academy with a 5.8 KDA with 188 slays, 57 deaths, and 145 assists for the number 1 KDA. In the second spot, we have Chime of Golden Guardians, who has a 5.6 KDA with 23 slays, 61 deaths, 319 assists for the number 2 KDA. In third, we have Pretty of Immortals Academy, who has a pretty 5.5 KDA with 119 slays, 54 deaths, and 179 assists. And then in our 4 and 5 spots, we have the top 2 farmers. In 4, you have Wild Turtle of Immortals Academy with a 9.7 creep score per minute. And then in 5th, we have Kaori of Evil Geniuses Academy, also with a 9.7 creep score per minute.
Moving on from Academy, the big leaguers LCS are coming in hot with Cerberus leading last week's breakdown.
Yeah, most definitely. The first match of LCS for the weekend was given to us with Evil Geniuses taking on Immortals. These two teams were on a pretty level playing field in this match, each with 4 wins and 5 losses, so implications for the season hung in the balance. Evil Geniuses proved they were ready to rise to the occasion, though, and were able to take the match through heavy slaying and tower defense.
Evil Geniuses had 16 slays, 9 towers, 4 dragons, and 1 baron, with Danny of EG impressing with a KDA of 9, 1, and 4. Immortals had 6 slays and only 1 tower with 10,000 less gold, taking the match to 36 minutes.
And in the next match, FlyQuest squared off against TSM. TSM's woes this season continue with another loss to another good team in FlyQuest. It was just a weak showing from TSM, unsurprising after what we talked about, with no one on the team really performing well. On the opposite end, though, FlyQuest seemed to really have hit their stride with slaying behind Josie Diodo, I think is how you say his name, and Tukule, which I just get pictures of the Kool-Aid Man every time I say that name. And FlyQuest also did a good job with playing their lives with no one dropping more than twice.
FlyQuest had 18 slays, 11 towers, 5 dragons, and 2 barons, and TSM had 8 slays with 6 towers, taking the match to 32 minutes.
In match 3, it brought us Team Liquid facing off against 100 Thieves, with TL being one of the best teams in the league so far this year. 100 Thieves and 100 Thieves' recent struggles, this one seemed done and dusted before it began. However, 100 Thieves were able to make it competitive, but without being heavily outslayed, it was just not enough to bring them the match. Bjergsen showed up once again for Team Liquid, which it's why it's so important that he joined the team this year and came back to the league.
Team Liquid had 22 slays, 7 towers, 3 dragons, and 1 baron, with Bjergsen having a KDA of 8, 2, and 11. 100T had only 12 slays, 3 towers, and 1 dragon on this 32-minute match.
In match 4, we saw Golden Guardians taking on Cloud9, which promised to be a fantastic matchup as both teams have played pretty well so far this split. Even though it showed to be a close match, it was anything but. Golden Guardians struggled across the board, not being able to match up with Cloud9, with the only bright spot for them being that they took the Dragons. Whoop-de-doo. Other than that, though, it was an absolute smoke show from Cloud9.
Cloud9 had 15 slays, 11 towers, 1 dragon, and 1 baron, with Berserker having a KDA of 4, 0, and 5. GG went with only 5 slays, no towers, 3 dragons, and 13,600 less gold than Cloud9 in this 27-minute match.
And then in the last match of the day, it brought Counter Logic Gaming against Dignitas. With CLG massively struggling so far this split, Dignitas showed it was just more of the same with taking this match handily. CLG has been striving to improve across the board in every category, but Dignitas was able to use that to their advantage in this match. Dignitas spread the work across the board with all players putting in the work, and it won them the match.
Dignitas had 10 slays, 9 towers, 4 dragons, and 1 baron, with River having a KDA of 3, 0, and 2. CLG had only 4 slays with 4 towers in this 29-minute match.
And then moving on to the 6th, in the first match of the day, we saw Team Liquid taking on Immortals. With these teams at opposite ends of the standings so far in the spring split, no one would have expected this match to be as close as it was. The match lasted close to 37 minutes, but statistics throughout the game were pretty close. Even though that was the case, Team Liquid were able to show that they were the better team, leading through the slays, dragons, and gold.
Absolutely. Team Liquid had 25 slays, 8 towers, 1 dragon, and 1 baron, with Hans Sama having a KDA of 8, 3, and 10. Immortals had 13 slays, 7 towers, and 4 dragons.
Moving on to the next match, 100 Thieves took on Counter Logic Gaming. Counter Logic has been struggling, like we've said previously, and they were hoping to capitalize this match as 100 Thieves have shown some weaknesses. However, 100 Thieves sought to prove a point in this one, and they did so. They took the map after 30 minutes, despite being beaten out in the top lane, the mid lane, and in support. However, they did win it through the jungle and attack damage and carry. This gave 100 Thieves a better position for the split with this win.
100T had 11 slays, 10 towers, 4 dragons, and 1 baron, with FBI having a KDA of 5, 1, and 1. CLG had only 3 slays, 1 tower, and 1 dragon, with 10,000 less gold than 100T.
If you don't have gold, you ain't going to win. In the third match of the day, Cloud9 took on Evil Geniuses. This one was not close, as Cloud9 were able to prove why they're at the top. Cloud9 took every statistical category except for jungle and mid lane, where EG was able to narrowly squeak it out. And we're talking by like a percentage point or two. However, despite those two categories, Cloud9 absolutely dominated everywhere else, and there was not much else to say beyond that.
Cloud9 had 20 slays, 8 towers, 4 dragons, and 1 baron, with Blabber having a KDA of 7, 0, and 9. EG had only 8 slays with 1 tower, with 12,000 less gold than C9 in this quick 27-minute match.
In match 4, it had more promise, though through FlyQuest taking on Dignitas. Each statistical category was close, with both teams trying to take a win to improve their standings. Dignitas's game plan, though, seemed to be through the bot lane, while FlyQuest decided to run it straight up the gut through mid. FlyQuest proved their game plan was the better of the two, and it worked in this match, and it secured them the victory, which was impressive considering they were damaged through mid lane by Dignitas by over 11.5%, which is a huge gap.
Yeah, FlyQuest had 14 slays, 7 towers, and 3 dragons, with Kumo having a KDA of 5, 0, and 4. Dignitas had 10 slays, 3 towers, and 2 dragons in this 32-minute match.
And then in the final match of the weekend, we were treated to a great matchup between Golden Guardians and, hey, surprise, TSM. TSM have been an absolute disaster to this point in the season, and no one had high hopes for them in this match either. Golden Guardians have at best been a middle of the pack team, so it was a prime opportunity for them to move closer to the top in the leaderboards. However, TSM came in with the surprises and came out firing in this match. Despite being heavily outdamaged in the mid lane, 40% to 16.1, pretty large gap, TSM did make up for it through the top lane and through attack damage carry. With that, TSM was able to pick up the win, improving on that breadstick win victory rate that they had to this point in the split.
I love breadsticks. TSM had 20 slays, 10 towers, 4 dragons, and 2 barons, with honest KDA of 7, 3, and 8. GG had 11 slays, 2 towers, and 2 dragons, with 10,000 less gold over TSM in this 35-minute match.
I'm going to stop you there, Oprah. I love bread. I love
I
bread.
love bread.
I eat it every day.
Every day. I eat bread every day.
If you don't know what we're referencing, look up the Oprah bread interview, I
was
guess.
gonna say only a few people will understand that, but the ones who do will lose it.
It's
All right.
hysterical. Go watch it.
Scores have been tallied, and here is how it is and how it has changed the league standings for Spring Split. Tied for first, we have Team Liquid and Cloud9 with 9 wins, 2 losses. Third, we have FlyQuest with 7 wins and 4 losses. Fourth, we have 100 Thieves with 6 wins, 5 losses. Tied for fifth, we have Golden Guardians, Dignitas, and Evil Geniuses with 5 wins and 6 losses. Number 8, we have Immortals Progressive with 4 wins and 7 losses. Number 9, we have Counter Logic Gaming with 3 wins and 8 losses. And then number 10, we have TSM with 2 wins and 9 losses.
At least they're off the breadstick. And Ham, some of the team's players have been putting on absolute shows. And here's who's been doing the best. In first, you have, no surprise here, Bjergsen of Team Liquid with a 10.5 KDA with 38 slays, 11 deaths, and 78 assists. In the second spot, you have Takeover of TSM, who also has a 10.5 KDA, but has considerably less engagements with 6 slays, 2 deaths, and 15 assists. In third, you have Fudge of Cloud9, and he has a, I know Fudge.
Oh, Fudge.
Oh, Fudge. He has a 7.5 KDA with 40 slays, 15 deaths, and 73 assists. Now, in fourth and fifth, we have our top 2 farmers. In fourth, it's Danny of Evil Geniuses, who has a 10.3 creep score per minute. And in fifth, you have Hansama, also of Team Liquid, who has a 10.1 creep score per minute, bringing in at that number 2 farmer spot. So, well, that's all we have for League of Legends this week.